reaction is going to be. That's why that's another reason why he stopped the fight. But you go through all these scenarios. I remember, and I won't be so long-winded. 50-some years ago, Ali Liston fought. There was a weird situation where Ali had got some kind of weird substance in his eye, some kind of ammonia or something that was in his eye. People don't realize Ali wanted to quit. I can't see. I want to quit. He was only 22, 23 years old at the time. Angelo Dundee didn't allow him to quit. He said, we got it. We get in the corner, he's spraying his eyes because, number one, he knew what kind of dog he had. He had more confidence in Ali than Ali had in himself at that point. He said, you allow me to get your eyes straight, you concentrate and move, you're the best athlete in the game. That's what, to a point where Kenny Porter didn't know what his son's reaction was going to be when he was put into a position where he was knocked down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, I mean, coaching matters.
Yeah.
You know, coaching matters, and you know, it's always tough when you coach your own kids to a certain level, you know. And you gotta know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know that as the coach and as the parent. Sometimes you gotta separate the two, you know. And so you know, like my daughter is a softball player. I never had no interest in coaching her. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, I know the game. I could very well have got out there and done, you know, but you know, I coached my boys as they came up. You know, they weren't like really into sports that way. So I could manage that a little different.
Right.
You know, where she's kind of into this softball thing. And I just want to be a dad. Like, I don't want to overstep, you know, because I see the parents that coach their kids.
Right.
And some of them are so unrealistic about how good their daughters or sons are. Or, you know, they got to be because I don't think they separating that line. It's my child. I know what's best.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes they kind of, you know, take that parent thing a little too far, you know, because they are the parent, and they're not you know, having that line drawn.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm not really familiar with Kenny Porter as you are, you know, but I do feel like he definitely stepped in where he shouldn't have. And then to say that he wasn't prepared, well, you're the trainer. So what did that say about you? What are you saying about yourself?
Exactly right.
You know, so you didn't train him up for this fight. You didn't prepare him for this fight, is what you're saying. And you should have said that rather than saying, you know, he wasn't prepared.
Right.
You know, because like I say, from my eyes, and I'm not an expert or anything, but he didn't look bad in that fight to me.
No, and
he didn't look like he was getting overwhelmed and none of that.
No. And before the knockout, I don't know if you saw or heard or watched it, but in the corner, Terrence Crawford's corner was saying, "Hey, we behind." So at that point, you know, Terrence Crawford said, "You know, I got to turn it up." Rodney Pierce said the father-son training manager combo in boxing always seems to implode. Yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of great fighters. Oscar had to get away from his father. Shane Mosley's father was stuck around for a while, but eventually Shane had, you know, left his father. Of course, we all know about the Mayweather situation, but him and his uncle were fantastic together.
Yeah, Roger
was
and
great.
Roger and Floyd was something.
Yeah, the original Black Mamba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that was when Floyd was at his best.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I mean, he was clearly in his prime during those years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His shit was so razor sharp. And Roger just had that ultimate confidence over there in that corner, man, you know. I used to like listening to the corner sometime, you know, but yeah, that's the whole father-son thing. it can get blurry. It can get them lines blurry a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's in any sport. That's in any sport because sometimes you coach your father. I mean, you coach your child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than coaching the team.
Yeah.
And then you got all that stuff going. It just get ugly sometimes.
Yeah.
When you got parents.
It's a, and I agree. I mean, everything y'all said in my mind on point. And I agree. And one thing that was really interesting to me, I didn't see the fight. I did see highlights. I saw the knockdown, and that guy he showed a lot of energy, just pounding the canvas. So he was still good.
Yeah,
he was still good from the knockdown. But again, that father thing, and I think a lot of people, it takes me back to Joe Jackson. And what Joe Jackson did, he didn't even allow his kids to call him dad.
Right.
He didn't let them call him daddy. They called him Joe because he did not want the mix of dad and the business to come into play. So he let them know straight up, look, this is a business. You boys are the Jackson 5, and we're going to take this thing to the top. I'm not dad. Now, see, if he had been dad, then maybe Jermaine might have been singing on more songs than Michael because you dad and you want to be equal.
Yeah.
Maybe Marlon would have had some lead songs, but as a businessman, as a group, a serious businessman, you give the microphone to Michael Jackson.
That's a great point.
And that's what he did. And that's exactly
a great
what
point.
he did. And I know Jermaine, because Jermaine used to be the lead singer before Michael came in.
Jermaine was a beast.
Yeah. And Jermaine had a nice voice and could throw down. So Joe was straight up. Don't call me dad. I am not your dad. I'm Joe.
Hey,
and they never understood it.
I wouldn't go as far as saying Jermaine Jackson was a beast now.
Oh, Jermaine was a beast, man.
I wouldn't do that.
Not only could he sing, but Jermaine actually was a great guitarist.
He was a much better guitarist than he was a singer.
Oh man, come on now. Nah, I ain't gonna buy that. Nah. See now, Kenny doing that Serena Williams shit. See?
Hey.
Kenny always been kind of hard on Jermaine. I mean, he never been a big Jermaine Jackson fan. Now, me, being a little older, I was there at the genesis of the Jackson 5. I saw them come out the blocks.
Exactly, Dave.
And Jermaine, in fact, I don't know what's up. In fact,
oh, what the hell is this shit?
Man.
He put up a disclaimer. Hey, Big Rodney Pierce. You see him put up a disclaimer. Don't get this started tonight.
Let me make sure that fit. Let me make sure that fit to the camera there.
Man.
Who put that up?
Kenny. Rodney said, take the disclaimer down, man. He said, man, we ain't filtering this show, man. Oh, my goodness.
But that goes down to just preference when it comes to that. But I'm a believer that if Michael was not with the Jacksons coming up, that the Jacksons would have still been a hit and been a popular group coming up. Of course, they would have never reached the heights with Michael there. I mean, he's the GOAT of all GOATs.
I believe so.
They'd have been like the Silvers or somebody.
They would.
You said the Silvers.
Yeah,
the Bouges.
Right.
The Bouges was tough now.
They was nice.
The Bouges was tough, but, they'd have got a little run like the Silvers or something. You know what I mean?
Hey.
And Jermaine, man, Jermaine had some hits when he stayed with Barry Gordon's daughter and left the group. He had some #1 hits and all that stuff. So he had a successful career.
But the real feel good music though. Like you said, the Bouges and all them. But the thing is, I hate to say it, Kobe Bryant once told what's my man Jordan Clarkson, you can't go in the hole like you light skinned.
He told him that.
He sure did.
I don't know. I don't know how you got there, Cheese, but I feel.
No, I'm saying you can't go to the hole like you light skinned. Meaning, they good, but they ain't the spinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Michael.
Yeah.
You got Jermaine, but I mean, talk about Michael, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew from the little talent show when he was in the kindergarten.
Climb every mountain.
Climb every mountain.
Yeah.
She said, we just found the 5th member of the Jackson 5. And Catherine was excited.
Catherine was excited, boy.
Oh.
Yeah, she said, this is it. She said, I ain't think them other boys was gonna make it.
Right.
Man.
Now, looking back, I mean, they like Black royalty, man.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh,
But yeah, you make your point about the father thing, Dane, was on point, man. I think and then Ben said, father's coach, coach, he doesn't want his son to get hurt. That's a good point too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I want to say one thing before you move to a different subject about the sport. Because all it takes is one punch in boxing.
Yeah.
And you can kind of change the trajectory of somebody's life. So, you look great for that second, but one wrong blow can change your life. So, I mean, I'm saying he throwing his son under the bus, but on the same token, or different token.
Big Rod said, don't forget about Janet.
Janet was a beast. Yeah.
I know I didn't.
Miss Jackson, if you nasty.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, Miss Jackson.
Forget about Janet.
Yeah. Can't forget about Janet.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I know me, Dean, Bink that's on the line. All of us have coached our sons at some point and something. You know what I'm saying? And it's that, it's that you gotta draw the line. It's like I know when my son played baseball and I was one of the coaches. Once we got in the car, I tried to shut it down. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be the coach on the field and then all the way home too. Yeah. Like I tried to shut it down. Sometimes it's tough because you in that coach mode and you just trying to get the best out of them. Mm-hmm. And I need you to start this, and that, but I would try to stop it. I would try to shut it down once we got to the car. Mm-hmm. I didn't want the ride home to be like, he looking out the window, he ain't listening to me no more. Right. That type of thing. But yeah, it's tough, as you get, especially as you grow older into your sports. And it's always these little tragic stories too. What's the guy back in the day, Tom Marinovich?
Yes, yeah.
With his dad and dude never had a burger and he just was regimented, all the way up until all the way through the league. I mean, he got him there. Just couldn't stay there, just kind of lost it once he got there. And even watching the Venus and Serena movie, you look at how calculated Richard was, man, Richard Williams, and making sure that his girls were able to be children. Yeah. Even though they were superb athletes and, I didn't realize he took Venus off of the junior tour, just so that she could maintain and become, just maintain and be a 14-year-old. Because he was watching, they were comparing Venus to Jennifer Capriati, I think it was, who was a teenage phenom at the time. Mm-hmm. And I think right when she was turning 18, 19, she flamed out. She started getting in trouble, getting involved with drugs and all that kind of stuff. And Richard was like, nah, I'm not gonna have my daughter to be that. She gonna focus on these school, get these grades. She gonna, be able to go to he said Kingdom Hall, they hold Joe Witness. So, they do that. They're gonna go to amusement parks. They're gonna do fun things, with the family and just be normal. Mm-hmm. He said, we're not just gonna be running around doing these tournaments and chasing, the first $2 million contract somebody gonna give us. That's not what we're here for. And it proved, man, to be a good strategy on his part. Right. Because the girls was grounded. They were very grounded, man. They weren't overwhelmed by nothing. They kind of were confident that every step that they got to, they was going to make it anyway because they said it was ingrained in them. You know, we were going to be this. We were going to be the number one and number two or the top tennis players in the world. This was taught to us. This is how we were raised. You know, this is how we were trained. And it's just good, man, because it's got to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a balance. And like, you know, he's an example of somebody that got it right. And I'm sure there's others, you know, like you say, Joe Jackson was able to get his kids to the top. And he had perhaps the number one all-time greatest entertainer of all, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And the expectations got to be tempered. And I think a lot of times, man, with parents, because we want our kids to be, you know, we want our kids to have the best, you know what I'm saying, and want them to be the best. And so sometimes I think parents get a little bit ahead of themselves. Or sometimes you got the parent that's living through the child.
Vicariously, right.
Yeah. They didn't get to where they felt like they should have. And, you know, so Junior gonna pick up the total, you know, he gonna pick up the mantle and carry us over the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think a prime example of that was when Joe Frazier sent Marvis Frazier in there to fight Mike Tyson and also to fight Larry Holmes.
Yep.
I mean, the guy was certainly not qualified. He should not have been in that ring with those guys.
No.
And I thought that Joe Frazier was kind of trying to live through his son.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like you say, just being around youth sports for the last 20, 25 years, you see it, you know, you see it a lot. And, you know, a lot of times I feel bad for some of them kids because some of them don't look like they're having fun. You know, they put on a good face. They look they have fun when they you know, with the kids, but you see them with the parent, or you see the parent getting on them, and it's just a different kind of thing. You know, so I never wanted to be that. I never wanted to be that parent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was just kind of felt like I was just over the top.
Yeah.
You know, with my kids and stuff like that. So I you know, I'm just glad that I wasn't. And like I say, with my daughter, with the softball, I kind of fall back and let other people kind of take the lead. Now I'll give my 2 cents when I feel like I need it, but you know, I let other people kind of do that.
Yeah.
And I just keep an eye on it. I monitor things, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the mental health issue that we're seeing with a lot of the athletes, Naomi Osaka. And the gymnast who pulled out.
Simone
pulled out. And you're hearing a lot about this mental part that people can't uphold, you know, and that's just as big as the physical.
Absolutely.
These sports, man, at that elite level. So we probably will really have to give Richard Williams huge props, man, for those and the mama and the sisters, because they all were very tight to be able to those girls to withstand what they did, because they were venturing into a world where you know, a lot of Black tennis players weren't welcomed and
absolutely
all that kind of stuff, man. And they were straight from Compton. So
absolutely.
I don't think that they were really embraced. You just mentioned about going to the whole, like, you light skin, you know, neither one of them were light skin. And you know, there's a difference in how, you know, lighter and Black is treated.
Very good point.
People. So they went in and they've been able to withhold, and you know, they went through a lot. And I can remember one particular match where they called a foot foul on Serena, and she went off. She threatened the judge with the racket and all this stuff, and but that was just a build-up for all the stuff that she has gone through over the years, and it all just came out at that one moment. But I think we need to give Richard Williams some huge props for being able to cater to them girls and allow them to be teenagers and allow them to be young folk before they really dove completely into this, because he really protected them.
Yeah,
Totally agree, man.
yeah, and I definitely, with this movie, kind of give you a little closer look at Richard, because when they first got on the scene, basically it was clips. You getting sound bites of Richard. You might see him on the interview, and they always portrayed him to be something a little off the wall, a little quirky. You know what I'm saying? But as the years went on, and you start to, you look at how the girls react to him, how they kind of dealt with him. It was always with respect. You know what I'm saying? It was never, sometimes if there's some issues going on, the kids may they might slide a comment in just to let you know, like, hey, it ain't all good over here.
Right.
You never heard none of that. You never heard any of that. It was always kind of, just that respect for Dad and what he did for them, and how he encouraged them and pushed them to be, the great tennis players that they became. I just watch his journey, man, and just, like I say, watching this movie kind of put everything into perspective, because you see what he had a plan. Richard had a plan, man. He was very meticulous in his plan, and if you watch the movie, he talked about this plan a lot, almost to the point he was getting on people's nerves with it. I this is how I made it. This is how I wanted it. Everything is going just like I said it would. And so when he's saying this, to some people, it's like, it's that me thing. Richard is all about you. It's not about the girls. It's about you. You messing this up. You're going to mess that up because you're not letting Venus play in these tournaments. And it was to the point where, I don't want to tell the movie. I don't want to give it away if y'all haven't seen it, but
right.
He had to really have some trust in Venus for her to say, listen, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And it was almost like that coming of age moment. You know what I'm saying? Where he was protecting her.
Yeah.
And then she convinced him that, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Let's do this. And that was a pretty strong move. That was a pretty strong moment in the movie. When y'all get a chance to see it, that whole series right there was really strong. And it just showed that he prepared them. He really prepared those girls, man, for everything. And even Serena, is because she was in the shadows at that time. She wasn't even being talked about.
No.
Like Venus. Venus was like the one. But here's this other one that ended up being better than her.
Which he knew.
And he knew that. And he said that.
He always
said that. He said that from the beginning.
Yep.
From the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched the interview, Will Smith being interviewed, and they were there. The two girls, Williams girls, was there at the interview, and he made a point about putting this thing in perspective of what it really means with Venus and Serena.
Yeah.
He said it's almost like, and I can't remember the exact examples he used, but he's saying it's like, and I'm using my own examples, it's like if Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how these Williams girls was kicking things back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like if Tiger Woods had a brother that was the second ranked player in the world while he was the first ranked player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's how these Williams girls hit that scene, being number one and number two, like they did. So it's really big. It's really big. And then when you throw the whole, black females kicking down the walls and it makes it even bigger.
I see Rodney said something. Media portrays Richard as being aggressive and uncouth, and that's a great point too, because you have a black man, and like Dean said before, you go into this tennis world which is what, 98% black.
Absolutely.
So you got this brother from Compton who And you know, any of us that get into a sports arena or whatever, and we're confident, or you know, we really believe in our skills, going to be perceived as being aggressive and unruly. And I think that was another barrier breaker him, because you know, you go to all these tournaments overseas, whether it's Wimbledon or Australian Open, you know, French Open, it's all white people, white coaches. Even in the junior leagues, you know, a lot of them are in Florida, predominantly, you know, rich white people.
Yeah, yeah,
The
for
leagues in
sure.
California, rich white people. So for him to say, okay, we got these kids in Compton playing on these inner city courts, gang related, you know,
Mhm.
situation going on around them. And man, I think that's huge even on his part, is to break the barrier or the color line, you know, if you will, as far as, you know what, not on the plains or, you know, arena, but teaching these girls, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely I recommend everybody to watch that movie, man. It was a great movie. I've seen it twice.
mhm,
You know, me and my daughter sat and watched it Saturday. You know, very, very good, man. It's
mhm,
just the story, you know, and then even though we know how the story played out,
yeah,
to actually see, you know, how the beginnings and even the motivation,
yeah,
you know, and the things that, you know, Richard did to even put him in position. He was very strategic, man, and it was almost genius.
yeah,
Some of the moves that he was making, man. I was very impressed. And just like I say, just from a sports fan's perspective, you know, uh, looking at some of the things he did, looking at some of the moves he was making,
mhm,
just from a guy that's been a coach
mhm,
and have seen, you know, seen a couple players go up the ranks. So, you know, I've never been right there hands on
mhm,
to really see the process, but I've seen a couple players, you know, and I know that there's a lot that comes with it.
sure,
So to see him in an arena, and I'm talking about an arena like basketball, football,
sure,
where the numbers are much higher
sure,
of us participating. So you're talking about tennis, like you say, where there are no, I mean, very little black participation, if any,
yeah, yeah,
especially at the lower levels, you know, and to watch how he manipulated and put together this plan, genius, man,
yeah,
genius.
He didn't have
no,
a tennis background, did he?
They were athletes.
yeah,
Him and the wife were athletes.
Okay.
You know, as young, you know, as teenage or not, I mean, as younger
yeah,
people, they were both athletes.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the mother was very instrumental in coaching them too.
mhm,
So, you know, like I said, I don't want to tell the whole movie, but
Yeah. Yeah.
there
I'm
was, you
definitely
know,
looking forward to
a
seeing.
part where you know, there was a professional coach that took on Venus,
mhm,
not Serena. So when Venus went to work out with this coach,
mhm,
you know, mom
mhm,
packed up the van and she took Serena
yeah,
you know, to the park
yeah,
and got that work in.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, both of them. So it was a team effort for sure.
yeah,
You know, Richard had the plan, and the mother was she was a very supportive wife.
mhm,
You know, she was, this is what we're doing, and I'm with you. I'm riding with you 100%.
yeah,
You know, so it was definitely you know, good to see. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we need those type of images, man. We need to see those type of things more so than we do. You know, we need those kind of stories to be told. Just the example, you know, just to be the example, man. Like I say, you know, we got all of these all of the negativity that we could always talk about, all of the guys that don't make it, you know, the guys that get in trouble and go left, and they'll dominate the headlines for weeks, you know, months.
mhm,
You know, we talking about, you know, I mean, you just think about Michael Vick, you know, how they ran that story just day after day after day after day, week after week after week after week, month after, and people still, you know, he didn't serve his time and did all he had to do and rehabilitate himself to play, retire, now you're on TV, and people still find something to say about him. we just don't let that sleep that sleeping horse stay asleep. We just got to keep on poking at it. When you got examples, of people, man, that's have made it, that's done great with their opportunities, man. And I think, like say, Richard Williams, to me, his story need to be told a little bit more. This movie is just the beginning. I think his story. And I don't know, because you don't see him too much anymore. So I don't know if he's in good health now. I don't know really what his situation is. But he's somebody that need to be lifted up a lot more, I think.
Well, and this is bigger. Of course, we all know how, the mothers, the backbone of, any family. But how this translates as a Black man in America who is a father in a daughter's life. They all have different methods, but it's nothing like a father who has their daughter's back and whatever they want to do and accomplish. And like you said, I think Banks said he kind of took the distraction away from them and put the pressure on himself. It's a great point. But you had this guy, and not just girls specific. Yeah, well, girls specifically. When you got a father who says, you can do this, you're setting a precedent and foundation to say, okay, for the rest of your life, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have a Black man in the beginning of your life to say, no, you can do it. Put in the work. You can do whatever you want to do. It's far different than going out in the world on your own, even though you might have this strong will.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lost and then you might go down the wrong path and, you might meet a guy who kind of steers you away from the goal you're trying to set.
Yeah.
But to have that father figure to say, no, you can do it. I think that's huge. Even, for example, you watch it with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like that, man. It's nothing
Yeah.
like that, man. I ain't got kids. Well, I mean, I got 10 and a possible. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't have no kids. I'm just kidding. I ain't got no kids. But he gets my point. I ain't got no kids.
Then there's always that factor that plays in where you're looking at a Serena, looking at Venus first and then a Serena, and the way the vultures out there, they're looking at money.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at these women as being able to make a fortune, and they're always looking for ways to wrestle that money away from the fathers, and all those. A lot of people had to struggle. Richard was real strong and staying attached to his daughters, and at least he gave them that foundation. So once they did maybe part ways with him, they were able to withstand all the other things that they had to deal with. But they're always looking to separate the money from the father. They was always looking to separate the Jacksons from Joe because they understood the strength of a Joe Jackson.
Absolutely.
So that type of has always been part of the whole plan is to get the money. They look at us as money. So props to him for holding on and being protective and at least giving them that strong foundation to where they can withstand all the foolishness that came their way after they sort of left his management.
Yeah. So Becky said he is in the hospice care. He had 2 major strokes.
Wow.
And he no longer can speak. So yeah, I you don't hear much about him.
Yeah.
God bless him.
I know I haven't seen him at any of the matches in a few years.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely props to Richard Williams. And I'm sure, man, there are more fathers, that are deserving, that just maybe played the background a little bit more, but were right there, pushing their kids along, keeping them on that right track. And a lot of times we tend to look at the superstar ones, the ones that get to the tip top of their profession. Mm-hmm. But, there are many of them along the way that don't necessarily reach that top pinnacle of their sport, but they have that support, all the way through as far as they go with it. And the foundation. And like you say, that foundation is key. that foundational piece is key, man. Just because if you have, like you say, the wherewithal to understand, listen, there's some vultures out here that really want to separate us, because they want to be in control. They want to control, your situation. They feel like they could run the situation much better than I can, And like I say, that was also a theme throughout the movie. You would see, I don't know if these people were necessarily vultures, but they felt like they knew better than him.
Yeah.
They felt like they knew better than him. Yeah, but that's definitely must see. And I said we're going to do something down the road, on fathers, Black fathers in particular, because there's a need to put some spotlight on that, in my opinion. So we definitely going to down the road a piece. We're going to put together some guys, that need to be spotlighted. I feel like, and we'll go ahead and do that down the road with the sports mix. So we're going to move it along. So Sunday was a Sunday up there in Detroit. LeBron took a little fist to homeboy trying to box him out. And he was in his space a little bit, man. LeBron, like, yo, get up off me, man.
Yeah.
Get up off me. And of course, he caught the brunt of the LeBron about 260, 280. Caught a little bit of that. And I think he got him with the hand, and he didn't get him with the elbow, right? Looked like he got him hand. Was it slow motion? Looked like maybe he caught him with both. He might have got a little elbow and the hand. But they leaked the shit a little bit, And
yeah,
my man was a little disgusted.
Yeah.
So y'all know I'm a LeBron guy, so he should have been in space like that. That's my thoughts.
He should have been what?
He should have been in LeBron's space. He should have been holding on to him like that. He should have just, because all right, LeBron was, so they on the line, right? The Lakers, who was shooting the ball? Was Detroit shooting or Lakers shooting? See, I already maybe pull a clip, but he wasn't even trying to get you the ball. He was fighting with LeBron.
Yeah, Detroit was shooting.
Right. So LeBron is on the back end of the line, he's not under the basket. So he shouldn't even been tussling with LeBron. If he's trying to get a rebound. His focus should have been the guy on the other side of him trying to get to that rebound.
Right.
But that's either here or there. They got tangled up. It happens. And LeBron just like, get up off me. And he didn't get up off him fast enough, so he helped him.
No, you don't get up off. I've never in my 52 years of life, 30-something years played a game of basketball, have I ever swung a closed fist when I'm boxing out.
No, he didn't swing a closed fist now.
That was a closed fist.
No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. He was here.
No, he wasn't. No, look at that, man. He did like this with a closed backhand fist.
Man, you about to make me pull the footage up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Keep on talking though.
Why you doing that? He first of all, he closes his fist and he turns around. Now, here's the point. LeBron didn't mean to make him to split him open. So he did this, but few things of fact, Isaiah Stewart Wiggs, 20, 21 years old, whatever he is. Number one, I think it would have been okay if he knew he wasn't bleeding. But once he saw that he was bleeding, it's like, okay, you know what? I got the face of the league. He think he gonna just punk me on national TV. Got my shit all. We at Detroit. No, he was like, no. So he got emotional. Part that I don't like is, okay, I don't mind you getting 2 games, but I think LeBron should have got more than 1 game. Are you gonna play it? Are you playing it?
Can y'all see it?
So, yeah. So while we talking, he had the line, I guess. That's a closed fist.
He didn't mean it.
Bullshit. Bullshit. He meant it. And then look, he gonna come up on him. The kid getting emotional.
Yeah, this is
I'm
ridiculous.
saying, and then they gonna find him not what, $900,000.
How much?
I don't know. I think wasn't it 900 something thousand?
No, that'd be his whole damn salary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. Or was it 90,000? It was something.
I need to see the slow mo.
And then Stephen A, he gonna say, well, LeBron, you know, I agree with. No, I just one of the few times I disagree with Stephen A. Because LeBron, I think, should have got more than one game. That was a closed fist.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Cheese, on this one.
Yeah.
I think that LeBron, I think it was intentional, man. I think he intentionally swung
Yeah.
his arm, his elbow, his fist, and hit the guy. And I thought that he should have been suspended a little bit more than one
Yeah.
game. I know that the the flow of the blood, you know how that get, man. You see blood flowing, man.
Yes.
You ready to react, man.
Yeah.
So I can understand why the young fellow was reacting. I think the blood had a lot to do with that. Yep. And then the fact that it is LeBron too. I mean, there's a lot of jealousy and stuff like that because LeBron is LeBron, and he's been the man, the face of the NBA, and this and that. So I'm pretty sure a lot of that could have played into the young fella going at him. But I'm a little surprised at LeBron. I think he's remorseful for what he's done. Right. But he certainly swung that elbow, and I think it was intentional. And I thought that one game was a slap on the wrist for him, and it should have been a little bit more.
They need to remove that Laker uniform. That's what they need to do. They need to remove that Laker uniform. I'm tired of him in it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I got an out of body experience with.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. There was a lot of Laker fans, man, upset when he came and put that jersey on.
Yeah. Come on.
Boy.
A lot of Kobe fans didn't like that.
Yeah.
And Kobe co-signed on it.
Well,
Kobe gave his blessing.
Because Kobe.
What was he supposed to say? What was he?
What was he supposed to say?
Yeah, he had to.
Listen. Don't have me on here defending Kobe Bryant no more, man. I've done that.
I think you've got to a point where you just realize that he's a great person, great player, maybe the greatest you've ever seen.
Picking them combinations I was talking about.
That damn disclaimer. Come on, man.
Woo!
I don't know where you come up with that stuff. I just let the people know, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers that do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or any entities that represent this show.
And then, man. Then on top of that, I don't know, man. This whole thing, man. He should have got. I think I would have gave him 4 or 5 games. I really would have. And I would have gave him because I've never played a game where I swung. If you shoot an elbow, that's different. I've done that, but I've never swung around a closed fist to hit anybody in a game of basketball. I never did that.
Oh.
Especially if I was worth $1 billion. I never did that.
Well,
I won't put this in the category of Karl Malone cracking Isaiah.
Oh, that was deep. That was deep.
That was really deep, But I think LeBron, the guy was, as they were going for that rebound, the young guy, he was squeezed. They squeezed him, right. And he sort of pushed into LeBron, a little heavy, and LeBron took offense to it and swung the elbow.
Yeah.
You know, so at least 2 games suspension. If I'm the commissioner, he's gonna have at least 2 games, no less than 2.
Yeah. Well, they gave him the one game. That's it. So
that was enough.
So you can't wait to see him back on the court?
Ooh. Well,
I'm just asking for a friend. I don't know.
You know. It's LeBron.
And then the post game, LB Anthony Davis. Well, we got, he's our guy and this and that. Oh, come on, man.
See, the one thing about, these games, and like, I wasn't watching the game live, so, I saw the, the clips like everybody else. It was like, I was listening to, somebody was on NBA Network Sunday. I'm not really sure who was on there. But they were just saying, in the flow of a game, there could have been something that happened a couple possessions ago where they kind of got tangled up or had some, something physical happen. And this is the last time I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? We never know in the middle of a game what set somebody off to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've seen worse. I think the Karl Malone shit was much worse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Than
Man.
And
but see, that was an elbow though.
Yes.
That was an elbow.
Yeah. To the face.
To the face. To the face.
Yeah. And Zeke was in midair, if I ain't mistaken.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was even more dangerous.
But all I know, growing up and then playing and then wherever we played, then, if you swing a closed fist at somebody, you must be ready to fight on the court. I don't care how you throw it. Sideways, forward, backwards, or whatever.
Yeah.
You're ready to fight. Yeah, you're ready to fight.
It's go time at that point.
Now you got to take into consideration, Isaiah Stewart could be our son. So we got to take into consideration his age. He's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
So you kind of understand his frustration. And, you give him a pass on that.
Yeah, it's it's the physical nature, man. It's basketball can get a little physical at times, it get a little testy.
Yeah.
The Lakers aren't playing well. They struggling. So, sometimes you carry that on the court too.
Yeah.
The fact that we're not playing the way we think we can play.
Right.
We're struggling.
They were down by 12 at that moment too.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. So they frustrated.
Yeah. But do y'all remember when Karl Malone did that to Isaiah? Mm-hmm. Isaiah was in the midst of torching John Stockton.
He sure was.
He was not picked for the Dream Team.
Mm-hmm.
And Stockton was. So Isaiah came in that game to prove a point, and he was ripping that dude to shreds.
He sure was.
Yeah.
Karl Malone took offense and came down and hit him with the hand.
Yep.
So can I say for the record that I believe that was one of the biggest injustices in
Absolutely.
sports.
Absolutely.
Isaiah should have been on that team.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Isaiah should have been on that team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he should have been on that team, man. And
without a doubt.
Why wasn't he?
Because of them sissies.
Who, Mike?
Michael and Magic.
I just wanted to see if somebody was gonna say it.
Oh man,
I know that's Kenny's boy. I love Mike too. Don't get me wrong.
I love them. I love them guys, man. Yeah. But they was being straight bitches.
I agree.
Yeah, wasn't no way Mike wasn't gonna not be on the team.
Yeah. Here's the kicker though. Chuck Daly was the coach. Mm-hmm. They didn't even put icing on the cake.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And see, then you wonder why. We talked about Scotty last week. How after all these years, Isaiah still holds some resentment.
Mm-hmm.
His main man was the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And history got a way sometimes of excluding people. And you know, you don't hear Isaiah's name a lot when you hear people talk about the top point guards.
Mm-hmm.
And now in conversations now, you hear Steph, you hear the guys that's out there now. You know, of course, Magic. Everybody always say Magic, but you hear,
Right.
you know, the Steph Curry,
Yeah.
the Dame Lillards, the Allen Iversons, you know.
Yeah.
The Isaiah Thomas, man. I mean, I put him up against any of them guys anytime, you know, with his skill set, man, because he had some AI shit with him.
He was unbelievable, man.
In the 80s, you know what I'm saying? He was an AI type. If he wanted to, Isaiah could have averaged 30.
He sure could. He was fantastic.
You know, he could have got 30 a night if he wanted to. You know, and just a tough as nails, man. Tough as nails guy.
Oh yeah, that Chicago one. Yeah,
you know,
killer out there.
His skills was unmatched for a little guard because Isaiah 6'1".
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody mentioned it last week when we was talking that performance he did against the Lakers with his ankle fucked up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was
against my Lakers, yes indeed.
Great performance.
I had that game on videotape.
Yeah.
Of course, gone now, but I had videotaped that game,
mm-hmm.
And so I would watch it from time to time, man. And then the shit was swole up like a goddamn softball after the game.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
You know,
it was real.
And he gave what 42? Was it 42 he gave?
I think he had like 25 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 25 in the fourth quarter.
25 in the fourth quarter, but I mean, he was cooking on one leg. One leg, man. And then remember that the one when he fell out of bounds and he running back on defense, man.
Right.
I mean, man, that's just grit, you know.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, Isaiah Thomas should definitely have been on that dream team.
And you know one thing that a lot of people missed in the Last Dance, because the big thing was what Mike called him a bitch, right? You know, Isaiah's a bitch. But see, right in that same wording, he said that Isaiah Thomas was the second best point guard of all time.
He knew what time it was.
Yeah.
Next to Magic Johnson,
Yep.
but he's a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody jumped on the bitch part. I jumped on the other part.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
The GOAT has said that this dude is the second best point guard of all time.
Yeah.
People don't even want to talk about that. But that resonated with me more than him calling him a bitch.
And you know what? And people don't understand this. Isaiah went to Indiana under Bobby Knight.
Yes.
This is another part that adds the frustration of not being on an Olympic team. In 1980, Isaiah Thomas was the best point guard in the country. The U.S. could not go to Moscow and play in the Olympics.
Yep.
Number one.
Yep.
Jimmy Carter.
Right. But here's the kicker. 4 years later, when the Olympics was in L.A., 1984,
yes,
Jordan was the man, and who was the coach? Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
That adds insult to injury. Then 8 years later, 92, your main man, who you won 2 championships with, is the coach.
Go ahead, Cheese.
Of the Bulls, 2 of the best players in the world, Pippen and Jordan, on the Olympic team, along with your best friend, who y'all got the outs with, Magic Johnson.
Yes.
You can't make this shit up.
Yep. Tough, man.
Chuck Daly, the coach.
It's tough.
And so pre-time, I mean, you go back 3 or 4 years earlier to that, you still kissing Magic at half court before the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Magic, was out ill, and you still didn't get on the Olympic team.
Right.
Now, at this point, you've been in the league 11, 12 years. You have made your mark as one of the best point guards ever played.
Yeah. Yep.
On the strength of you not being able to go to the boycott and won in 1980, your college coach coached the 84 Olympics. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. If anybody should have got a automatic,
right,
it should have been him just for missing the 80.
That's right.
And still being relevant in 92.
Absolutely.
I don't know who else made that 80 team. but I'm sure none of them were still relevant or superstar status in the NBA in 1992. Yeah. I'm positive of that.
But speak to the perseverance of Isaiah. They didn't go to the Olympics that summer. But 7 months later, guess who won the national championship? Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's the same night the president got shot, or the night after. So,
okay,
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I know that. I know they beat Maryland on the way to winning the national championship. Maryland had Albert King, Buck Williams, Ernie Graham.
They sure did. They beat them.
Indiana beat the shit out of them.
And they beat North Carolina.
Yeah. Isaiah was a beast, man.
So to win, to not go to the Olympics, but then come back and win national championship. Peace, man.
Yeah, so Isaiah, and I wasn't a Pistons fan. I wasn't a fan of the bad boy Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he was just hard not to like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was hard not to like, man, because he just always got it done.
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity to see him play late in his career. He was coming off the bench at that point. The Pistons had played the Bullets at the Baltimore Arena. Mm-hmm. I guess that's what it was called at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
They changed the name so many times, but they had Lindsey Hunter starting.
Yeah.
Joe Dumars was still starting.
Yeah.
This was the year before they drafted Grant Hill.
Yeah.
So they had Lindsey Hunter starting. Isaiah was coming off the bench. They had Sean Elliott on the team. He was with the Pistons for a minute before they sent him back to the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get a chance to see him, in person. He was kind of on the way out at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get to see him. So, I'll take that. I'll take that one.
And
but
I say
clearly should have been on that team. Clearly.
And I say it pound for pound. You give me him and Joe Dumars in their prime. Now, mind you, Steph and Clay are better shooters. But pound for pound, I will take Joe and Isaiah over them two because, number one, they're both better, way better defenders. Clay's a great defender. He's not a Joe Dumars, though. I'm sorry. He's not a Joe Dumars on defensive end. And the grit that they had, I mean, Steph and Clay, they win with finesse.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Dumars and Isaiah, they won with grit. I mean, just grit. They didn't back down, and they were tough. It's a debate.
So let me ask y'all this, because I'm putting together I'm gonna put together a panel with some younger guys too, and we're gonna talk about the differences in the game we grew up watching, versus the game that's being played now. With the little, like you say, a little more finesse. You can't hand check, no real physical play.
Right.
So in that instance, with Dumars and Isaiah, what would you think the advantage would be if they were playing in today's rules?
Same thing as the advantage now. I mean, you can't hand check them guys. They both had unbelievable handle. Joe Dumars is really quick and strong.
Mm-hmm.
They would score even easier, in my opinion. And defense, they wouldn't be able to be as physical, so that's one of the things. But
I think Isaiah, what Steph handles is tough too, man. Steph got some.
Yeah.
Some of that shit he be doing with that basketball, man, is almost unfair.
He has great range, though, man. I think that's the one thing. If you picking them, one or the other, people may edge with Steph and Clay because of the shooting range. But if you break down each one of their games and take your emotion out of it, there's nothing else they do better than Joe Dumars and Isaiah. It really is nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yo, those makes for some interesting debates.
Yeah.
Just because of being able to see both eras.
Right.
sometimes you kind of lean on the era that you kind of was most influential, or the one you kind of came up in.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of lean on that a little more, but I just think certain players, man, just they supersede the eras that they play in. They can play in any era. And just like say the way Steph Curry shoot that ball, man, I don't see him not being effective in any era. He could play in any era, I think.
I agree.
And then I think sometimes too we kind of overstate the how tough the league was. I just believe, man, that great players figure it out. Whether it's a physical game, whether it's a finesse game, great players figure out how to be great. No matter what the game is, no matter what kind of game is being played, I just think great players figure it out. Because I've heard people say, like a guy like Bill Russell wouldn't be as effective today as he was in his era. And I think a lot of times, and I didn't get to see that era, so I can't speak on it. But I think a lot of people discount it because it was only, it was fewer teams in the league, which to me is an advantage because that means there are more better players on all the better teams. All the teams.
Right.
Then you talk about the, the rules they had with having a certain amount of black players on each team. And I think by the time he was getting toward the middle to end of his career, it was kind of evening out. Because the Celtics for sure was one of the first teams to have all black starting five. The black players were trickling in, but that goes to say you can't help what era you played in, or you can't help who you played against. You can only play against the people that's in front of you. So Bill Russell had no idea that a guy named Shaquille O'Neal was going to be born, and played 30 years after he finished. He had no idea that was happening. So you can't fault him for not playing against a Shaq type, but he played against Wilt.
Yes, he did. And
tell me this.
Well against him. Tell me this. He played against Wilt. Out of all the centers today, name me 3 better athletes at the center position. Again, and I've urged people who watching, take the emotion out of it, because a lot of people say athletes are better. Take the emotion out of it. You tell me 3 better athletes at the center position than Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, and Bill Russell right now.
Name
me 4 better athletes.
You're not gonna find a better athlete than Wilt.
Not nowhere near. No.
None of them.
Mm-mm. See, people will throw that thing out, man. But not. You got great players like Luka and my man Jokic on Denver. They're great players. They can't jump over a paperclip.
Exactly. Wilt was the Big Ten long jump champ.
Thank you.
So so I'm saying on the college level, he was the long jump champ. The man could run they say he nearly could run a 4.4.
Yes.
And the 40, he ran the 400 meters. He high jump. He threw the discus. The man was and he knocked down 10,000 women. Come on now.
I think.
Come on now.
Then you hit it right on the nose.
Man.
I thought it was 20,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you might be right. It might have been 20, he says.
Yeah. I tell you what.
Cutting him short.
Yeah. Give me his, man. He worked hard for that.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real. The sexual prowess to be able to do that, is unmatched.
Somebody went in and broke it down. Yeah, and said if he knocked down 20,000 women, he had to been hitting a woman every 6 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Will.
And tell me this: do you think it was like a pre-game or post-game ritual where it's like certain guys eat Skittles or whatever?
Man, it might have been some halftime activity too, man. Maybe 20,000.
And this is the kicker is pre-Viagra.
Right. He ain't had no help.
Oh man.
He had no help, man. He ain't had no help. But I think, man, when it comes to, that's why it's so difficult always to compare different eras and all that kind of stuff.
What,
but
sexually?
I think,
No.
you can't compare that now because they got stuff on the market now.
Rodney said he had one once a quarter.
Once a quarter.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
God damn, Will.
It is difficult. It is very difficult to compare from one era to the other because I think, first of all, like, you know, you bring in some young cats in here who never saw, say, like a Jordan play or a Kareem play. I mean, they're not really qualified to talk about that. They only qualified really to talk about what they saw.
Right.
And
that's true.
And that's why I say a lot of people who have seen folks, I think they're more qualified to speak on it. But I think you brought up a good point about how people are more into their era, you know, and heighten their folks up and saying that they're better. But I think a lot of people are really surface dwellers, and that they look at stats and they look at highlights and they see an athlete today shooting threes like Steph and you know, Lillard and these guys and the way they shoot and this and that. But the game always gets better. The game progresses. The skill level is going to progress. And there's cats on the bench or maybe on the bench now. If you take them at their actual skill level now and take them back to the 80s or something, they'd be a superstar. You know, because the game continuously grows, and it grows on the shoulders of those who played before them. So you have to take the skill thing out of it. I mean, you see, we could say Curry is the greatest shooter, is the best shooter we'd have never seen, but greatness and best is two different entities there. You know, you can talk about, I can argue all day long and say LeBron James is a better ball player than Michael Jordan. I can deal with that kind of an argument. I think LeBron's skill level is sky high. You know, KD's his skill level. I don't know if you can find somebody back in the past that can match the skill level of a KD, 7 feet tall, doing what he's doing. But skill level and how good you are as a player is not the same as how great you are. It's a different thing. And just to kind of break it down to make it clear to people, you look at, there's a dude, it's a sprinter out there now for the US that has run faster than Carl Lewis. There's some dudes out there that has run faster than Carl Lewis as American sprinters. Now, are they as great as Carl Lewis? They're better than him because their time is faster than him. They show more skill. They done run the 100 meters faster than Carl Lewis ever ran it, but they ain't nowhere near as great as Carl Lewis. And I think a lot of people are looking at that kind of thing and not really getting into the substance of the sports where you could really dig in and see the greatness of a ball player.
Great point. Then.
That's why I kind of fall back from having them discussions and arguments or debates with people about, you know, who's greater than who when you talking about cross eras. Because number one, it's difficult to even judge because they, you know, you gotta go head to head. You know, what are they doing against each other? I can put up numbers of anybody. You know, you can stack numbers next to each other. Well, his numbers, look at this. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. You know, like LeBron will be top 5 in pretty much every category by the time he finishes. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, does that make him a greater player than a Michael Jordan? You know what I'm saying? Or even a Kobe Bryant? You know what I'm saying? Can you say that? And see, the way I look at it from, you know, numbers don't tell the whole story. You know, numbers can tell you, all right, this dude was tough. You know, he put up big numbers in all these categories. That's huge, right? But then when you look at the actual games, when you look at the moments, you know, those specific situations in games when the cream rise to the top, the numbers don't really matter at that moment. the moment is what matters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Mike put up some incredible numbers for years, scoring numbers. But Mike always seemed to do something when the lights was the brightest. You know what I'm saying? When the lights was on him, when you was expected for him to do something, he was doing it. And it's that thing that puts people in that stratosphere of greatness rather than your cumulative numbers. It's Magic Johnson, going for 42 as a rookie, starting as the center. You know what I'm saying? The moment. Absolutely. The moment was not too big for him. He stepped right into that moment and like, I'm here. It was Kirk Gibson. And he's not a great player, but he had a great moment. I mean, I wouldn't put him as an all-time great, but he had a great moment. Was pretty much propelled the Dodgers to win that series. He had a great moment. And so, like, it's the moments that make the greatness. Reggie Jackson. I hear people now, these stat geeks, what they call these people, with baseball, they always throwing these numbers around the war and all this stuff. Yeah, but they talk about what Reggie had all these strikeouts and this, that, and the other. But man, Reggie is a 5-time world champion. He was a major factor. I think he was hurt for one of the Oakland championships. We got 5 rings. He was a factor for 4 of them for sure. 2 with Oakland, 2 with the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So you tell me all about the strikeouts all you want. You know what I'm saying? But when the lights was the brightest, that's why we still call him Reggie. If we say Reggie, we know what the hell you talking about. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no.
What was that nickname they gave him?
Mr. October.
Mr. October.
Mr. October. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's the moment. It's making the most of those moments. And so like I said, I did not see Bill Russell play a minute in the NBA. He was retired before I was born. So his record is all I got to go by. But I wouldn't sit here and say that Bill Russell couldn't play today.
And I watched hours of clips on him, and athletically, he was a beast, man.
But I think what gets lost is like people saying, we're gonna take Bill Russell from 1965 and just stick him in 2021. I mean, if we're gonna stick him in 2021, we gotta give him the same advantages that all these guys got.
Thank you. That's,
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we got to even the playing field in some kind of way. And I'm one that believe if you take a Bill Russell from 1965 or whenever the prime of his career was,
sure,
you stick him in 2021 with all the advantages that these young players have today.
Totally agree.
The cream is going to rise to the top.
Totally agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because number one, he's a winner.
Yeah.
He won at every level, so he's a winner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a leader. Yeah. So he was a damn coach, the player and the coach for one of the championships. So, sometimes those arguments get flawed a little bit. Just those who could play in what era and who could do this and who could do that. Cross eras. I think I'm one to think greatness kind of find its way. Great players are going to figure it out. Great actors figured it out. Great musicians and great entertainers figure it out. Greatness is going to figure it out. Greatness is going to find a way to find their relevance and to find their way. They're going to figure it out.
Well, Wilt figured it out 20,000 times. Yes, he did. Hey. Shout out, God rest his soul. Shout out to Wilt.
Absolutely.
And
unbelievable feat.
And that may have contributed to why he, went out of here a little early.
Yeah.
What was his 50s, 60s when he passed, right?
Yeah, but rumor has it after he scored 100, he got one of them. He went to a foursome that night. Yeah. So he really, yeah, he really did have a quadruple double that night.
Hey,
my man.
Well, the stilt.
Yeah. You think that's where it came from?
Hey, I really don't care where they got that one
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain,
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a champion nonetheless.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some women like a challenge, man.
Roddy said he had to check my spinach with all this Wilt.
Hey,
Man,
hey,
hey, you gotta give credit where credit due, though, man.
hey,
Right.
Man,
hey,
for real.
yeah, Wilt, yeah, because I don't think Magic, Magic couldn't fuck with Wilt.
Nah,
Magic was on
on
that
his
time
best
about
day.
Magic's talking about he had 3, 4, 5, 6 something at a time and
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
Yeah,
Trying to kill those rumors.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
he got to come hard when y'all
Yeah, he was
talking
trying
about
to kill them rumors, man.
y'all talking about I'm on here with these boys, man. You got this got to stop.
Oh, what you talking about?
Exactly.
What you talking about?
He was trying to kill them rumors, man. He had, that HIV had popped up. And when they interviewed him, he talking about he had 6 at one time. 6 women at one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Magic.
That gay thing was hovering.
Wait, hold on. So there are rumors that Magic was gay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real?
That was
Yeah. Or
Man,
bisexual, if you want
I don't believe that, man.
I don't really give a damn, but
Yeah.
No,
that's what was put out there.
it was put out there.
That was put out there.
And I think that led to him putting that information out there that he'd been with 5, 6 women at one time and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think that was just a natural reaction just to let people know, look, I am not gay.
And you got to realize that's how, was going on. I mean, he's living in LA and
Kissing on Isaiah and all that stuff, man. People was starting to look at that a little different.
Come on, D.
Magic was hanging out with what was the owner's name? Jerry Buss. Him and Jerry Buss was hanging out at the Playboy Mansion and shit.
Yeah,
Jerry Buss. With you're a young guy, your 20s. First, and somebody say, okay, man, this is LA, it's Hollywood. What's gonna be you're gonna say where you want to go? What's gonna be your first answer? Let's go holler. Fuck that. I'm gonna holler at you. I'm gonna holler at you. See what's cracking. Huh?
Let's go to Roscoe's, baby.
Man, we can do Roscoe's. We can bring Roscoe's on the go. We going to Hugh House.
Going to Roscoe's, get some chicken and waffles.
Is Miss September available? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Miss December 1997.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So I had an opportunity, man, moving on. Yeah. I had opportunity to watch a documentary they did on Muggsy Bouges, Baltimore guy. They did a special on him on the NBA Network. I think it aired Saturday for the first time. I was able to watch it today, and being from Baltimore, we know Muggsy's story. We kind of know where from and how he came up. But to see that the league put the spotlight on Muggs, his contribution to the league, why he's even important to the league, being a 5'3" guy in a league of giants, in a league of giants, man. The average height in the NBA, 6'7", 6'8". The average height. And this guy is 5'3" and was able to play 14, 15 years in the league, was highly successful, defied all the odds, for a guy his size, man. I mean, and that's one of the overwhelming themes of the documentary is, people always told him what he couldn't do. You too small. Even guys in the neighborhood wouldn't let him play on the court because he was too small. You too little. Get on out of here. And he just had a desire to never quit, and to never be denied. And I think Muggs said he stopped growing, man, at about about 15, he got to be 5'3" at about 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, and that was it. He never grew any taller, but he definitely grew hair. That heart was, man, he had a heart of a lion, man. And coming out of Lafayette Projects, he was shot as a little kid, overcame that, was taught the game down at the projects with Mr. Howard, Mr. Leon Howard, who he spoke very highly of. Him and Reggie Williams, they spoke highly of. Of course, they were best friends growing up. And again, man, Muggs got emotional talking about Mr. Howard. Just saying, man, had he not taken the time to teach him and Reg the game, and he said that, he would even work with them guys when the gym was closed. When everybody else had to leave, he would keep them two in the gym, man, just work with them. You know what I'm saying? Just, drilling them and really, really pushing them because he saw that they wanted it, that they wanted to get better. So having coached, 10-year-olds and 11, 12-year-olds, man, there's no way in hell you can look at a 10, 12-year-old kid and say he got what it takes to get to the league. It just don't happen like that, man. You never know how it's going to turn out.
No.
You never know how it's going to turn out. All you can do is you see potential in some kids and you say, well, if you stay on the right track, you could do some things with this basketball or football, whatever it is. But, it's no way that you can predict, from a young age like that, the trajectory, where they're going to end up. And thank God for people like Mr. Howard, all over this country for real, that take interest in young men and young ladies as well. Because sometimes, like, Muggs was talking about how he didn't have his dad. His dad was in prison. So Mr. Howard kind of became that, that father figure and just kind of made sure that they stayed on the right track. So he made that gym available to them guys. When, a lot of times, man, we throw these kids out in the street. When it's time for me to get off work, I'm gone. But he closed the gym and had them kids in the gym still working. And it worked out almost, to legendary status, through high school, college, and into the NBA for both of those guys. But Muggsy in particular, because, Reggie, who we know, he was the national player of the year as a high school senior. He was the one getting all of the pub and the press. But to a man, they all said Muggs was the one that ran that team. He was the MVP of that Dunbar team. So I just, man, it was good, a good documentary. If y'all get an opportunity to watch it, definitely highly recommend y'all watch. And it was just good. It's always good to see something, a feel-good story from Baltimore, from our city, with all the negativity we always seem to hear about. So definitely good viewing. And, we'll recommend y'all get a chance to watch it, take a look.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, man, for sure. Looking forward. And he came up in during a time where, I had a chance to see them Dunbar teams play with him and Reggie. And even when, Wingate was still there and Reggie Lewis, Tim Dawson, tough. He was tough. A lot of people don't really speak too much about how he played. He was 6'7", played down in that hole. He was tough, man. But I think that Muggsy making it to the NBA is one of the greatest sports feats I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
That is 5'3", and you make it to the NBA. That is like miraculous, man. And I think, and I'm glad they're doing something on him, a documentary, because I think that thing has kind of gotten lost a little bit. That this guy at 5'3" made it into the NBA. You talking about inspiration, man? It's going to be difficult to find any kind of story that's more inspirational than a 5'3" dude making it. And then when you throw in all the other challenges that he faced during his youth and all of that stuff, man, this is one of the greatest stories that can never be told. And it really goes beyond just basketball. Man, it goes beyond basketball. Muggsy, I remember the story, man, when they went up to play up in Camden, New Jersey, and they had the #1 rated player in the nation, Billy Thompson, and Dunbar, come on the court and start running layups. They said the crowd was just laughing at Muggsy. Yeah. They thought he was a joke coming out on that floor. And that was pretty much how it went, because they was traveling around. Yeah. And that's pretty much how it went when he went to other states to play these teams. They laughed when they saw him running the layups and the layup line. And of course, people in Baltimore didn't laugh because we knew better. But when you went to other places, they laughed at Muggsy. Up in Camden, New Jersey, they laughed at him. As soon as the opening tip went, I think he stole the ball from the other point guard the first 2 or 3 times. Yep. He tried to bring the ball up court, and all that laughter stopped immediately.
Yep.
So man, that dude making it to the NBA at 5'3", man. I don't know of too many other stories, man, that top that.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, I've stood in close proximity to Muggs, man. It's amazing. Like, I'm like, damn, this dude is in the league. And he was in the league at that time. This is back in the early 90s. I ran into him down at Hopkins Plaza. And I'm like, man, this dude is in the league, man. Like, so, I mean, he's literally in the league and was a factor. And at the time, that might have been during them Charlotte years. That was when the Charlotte was making that run, when I saw him down there. So, he was definitely a factor at that point.
First round draft pick.
Lottery pick.
Yeah, I think he was number 12 or something like that.
Yeah, he was a lottery pick.
He was,
Yep.
So made a lot of noise down there at Wake Forest. Yep.
And they talked about that a little bit. How Reggie was trying to get him down to Georgetown with him. It's kind of like we a package. We've been together since we was 9.
John ain't want him, did he?
Big John thought he was too small.
Too small, yeah.
Yeah, but can you imagine Muggs on that press?
He would have fit right in at Georgetown.
What you talking about? Gene Smith would have been leaving that next year, and Muggs would have stepped right into that Gene Smith.
Yes, and would have been better.
Probably been better at it. Yep.
It would have been better at it.
Yep.
He was supposed to be in a Hoya.
Yeah.
Yep. Muggs Muggs definitely got to be one of my favorite athletes. First of all, where he came from, tough environment, which made him tough, made his team tough, and I always felt good, especially during those 2 or 3 or 4 years. You used to ride past Dunbar, and they had the banner outside with the 10 national champions. And man, I used to feel so good about having, national champions from Baltimore. And I always thought he was tough. And not only that, he wasn't just in the NBA, he was a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, and all his teammates loved him, man, wherever he went. Just a great inspiration to the city of Baltimore. And that's why kids, man, if you got parents listening or whatever, and kids may be kind of doubting, certain things about their life, you blessed with something.
Yeah.
You blessed with something.
Yeah.
And especially during this time, Dean was talking about mental health earlier. At 5'3", he was one loved basketball. He could have tapped out. And said, man, I'm gonna give up. But to let kids out there know that, anything is possible. And the man kept his head up and kept grinding. And every player that I've ever seen loves Muggsy. Opponents, everybody.
Yep.
And he's a true testament of Baltimore City, man. He's a gem. He's a city gem.
Yep.
For us.
Yep.
Yes, he is, man.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
He's one of our kings, man. No doubt.
They need to have a statue out in front of
Dunbar. I totally agree. Muggsy should have a statue.
He should have a statue, man.
And
he's a Baltimore legend.
He's a Baltimore legend, and he personifies the spirit of an inner city youth who fights through it and makes it happen. You can't have a better example.
If I had the money, I would donate to get him a statue.
I sure would. If they said start a donation tomorrow,
yes,
I will be on there donating.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that ain't a bad thing to start.
Nope.
He's a bad thing to start.
Nope. That's
Yep.
And that's the first time I've even heard that even mentioned.
Yep.
That's the first time I've even heard that mentioned, man. It's just, you know, his impact, just being a little guy.
Yeah.
You know, with a big personality, and the big role that he played. Like, you know, I didn't see the Dunbar years. You know, I didn't really understand who Muggs was until he was at Wake going into the league. You know, so I missed the whole Dunbar run and his importance to that, you know, to that team. Like I heard of Reggie Williams, I heard of David Wingate, when they were at Dunbar, but I didn't understand that it was a little guy that made everything go.
Yes.
You know, and as a you know, as a coach, you know, now you don't have to have a 5'3" little guy, but when you got a guy that can control the tempo of a game, and you know, on both ends, you know, he controls it on both ends of the floor, man, it makes your job as a coach a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole lot easier when you know, all right, I got a little man out here, you know, at least we got a shot. I know we got a shot when we got this little guy out here, man, and he's on both ends of the floor, getting what he want. You know, he gonna get the shots off that he need to get off for his teammates as the floor general, and he gonna make your point guard work like hell, you know, to get your offense going. And most of them guys determined that they didn't even want to bring the ball up on them. Let somebody else bring it up, and we'll figure out how to run the offense once we get across that half court line.
Yeah, yeah.
And let's not get it twisted. I've heard it from people across the country. That team is arguably one of the best high school teams of all time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
without question.
Yeah.
So let's not sleep on it. He was the main cog, or he was the main cog, the captain of a team who might have been the best high school team of all time.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
And that again, you know, from a city like Baltimore, that don't get a lot of praise or notoriety for anything, you know, positive. You know, so you know, we got the little brother syndrome, I guess. You know, they used to say we stuck in between DC and New York, or DC and Philly. You know, I remember like in elementary school, you know, you used to get your textbooks, and you had the little map in the back of the textbooks. I don't know what the map represented, but you would always say Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York.
Yeah, it always skips Baltimore.
It always skipped us. I never understood that as a kid, man. I was like, dang, what? We here too, you know. So I never understood that. But you know, Baltimore always kind of get overlooked for things like positivity, you know, and for that Dunbar team, you know, to be still considered the greatest high school basketball team ever. You know, even with all of the basketball factories we got now, you know, the prep schools and all that stuff, you know, they try to, it's just different because you'll never see that at a public school.
Three first round draft picks.
Right. Three, and then a second round the year before. And I think he was like the first or second pick of the second round.
He was like the first pick of the second round.
Yeah.
Do you think
he had 4 first rounds on that team?
Yeah.
You think us being overlooked? You think that's why during the late 80s, all 90s, a lot of Baltimore dudes will wear Yankee hats, which I can't stand to this day. I can't stand it.
No, man, I think that was.
I got some of my great friends who wear Yankee hats.
I had a few.
Never in my life have I ever wanted it.
I'm a hat guy. I started to have any kind of hat.
Well, I never said this before, but we're gonna have to question our friendship. Yeah. Never in my life will I ever put on a Yankee hat. Ever.
Yeah,
I
that
just
is-
can't do it.
I feel like the disclaimer grade come up again.
See? Well, he can't do that because then he's gonna be going with Yankee Nation. So
No,
he
you know, I ain't
And I
doing
and
that.
I did want to point out, man, that I'm really proud of both of you guys, man, for rocking them Oriole hats today.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that's good
Great.
stuff, man.
It ain't been easy the last few years.
Yeah, I'm fair
Nah.
weather when it comes to the Orioles.
No, I gotta keep my hat. I mean, even when they losing, I gotta still represent them.
Hey,
Man.
hey, Cheese, tell them, Cheese, I had the Oriole jersey when we was out Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bright
Who the fuck-
orange.
Yeah, who the fuck does that?
Woo.
So you know your Oriole fan.
Yeah,
would do that.
it
Yeah,
got
we
it
do
got a
that.
couple compliments too.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
you gotta represent who you know.
Yeah. I'm with the home team out here.
Yeah, because you can't wear a Yankee hat because the first thing gonna say, "Oh man, you're a Yankee fan." No, I'm from Baltimore. I'm an Oriole fan.
And back in 2018, was it
Yeah.
2018? I was down in Houston, and you know, I'm at the car rental place. I'm messing with the dude down there, and he was like, "Where you from?" I said, "Baltimore," and he said, "Oh man, what's wrong, man? How you guys trade Manny Machado, man?
Yep, I totally agree.
What's wrong, man?
Yeah.
Man, that dude's a beast, man." I understood exactly what he was talking
Yeah.
about.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
still sick about that.
Yeah, man, I was hurt. They let Manny go.
I'm still sick about that.
Yeah. But
Manny,
yeah, but y'all
Manny
hanging.
was my guy, man.
Manny was tough, man.
Yeah.
Tough. Still is.
Yeah, but you know, we were
And-
born. We were like the mafia. We were born into this life. So
And my guy, R.I.P. to my guy Garen Everett.
yes,
took one of
indeed.
the
I was thinking
greatest-
about him today.
Took one of the greatest pictures of Manny Machado, man.
Yes, he
ever.
did. You got to
Ever.
post that next time. Next time.
While we talking, I'm gonna try to find it, man. That's one of the greatest pictures ever, man.
Yeah.
Ever.
What was he doing? What
He was
the
at
photo?
bat.
Okay.
Oh man, that thing, man.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic, man. It's just one of the greatest photos. And you know, Garen, man, God bless his man. Just a great guy. You know, he had the he was dealing with some illness over the years and he succumbed to that earlier this year. But Garen was a monster with that camera, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was a monster with that camera. And I used to tell him, I said, Garen, you got to do a book, like a book of your photos, man.
Yeah.
And he just, never got around to doing it.
Yeah.
But man, he took some great photos, man. I wish, I could have, had access to his hard drive, man, with his photos, man.
Yeah.
And I know he got some classics.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell of a library.
Oh man, his library is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great guy, man, all the way around. And I say
Photos are iconic. And I mean, if you look, over the head of Cheese,
Yeah.
you see maybe the most iconic picture in sports history.
Yep.
Yeah.
Truly. Yes, indeed, man.
Right there. So, the
Yeah.
photograph is sort of losing a little bit of steam when the video is now so prominent. Everybody want to look at that video, but a picture,
Yeah,
I mean, if
man.
you could sit back and look at that picture
Yep.
over Cheese's head for 2-3 hours straight,
Yep.
man. Just looking at that picture.
And just look at the people.
Just look at the people. Look at the expression. Look at everything.
Yep.
And when they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, they shortchange that. It's worth more than 1,000 words.
For sure, man.
Totally agree, Ding.
For sure.
Yeah, God bless G. I thought about G a lot today for some reason. But I had if you don't mind, it's a 1-minute G story. So we were talking one day about talking about sports or whatever. So he calls me a day later. He's like, gee, I got a question, man. He's like, what should I invest in? Because I know we were talking about, investing in like stock, like pharmaceuticals and all that. I said, yeah, man. So I gave him these 2 stocks that I was into. So he said, all right, man, I'm going to do it. So I kid you not. G calls me 3 days later. He said, Robert. I said, oh shit, what I do that, G? he said, man, I went on he went on TD Ameritrade and he put some money in these stocks. He said, but Robert, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any like growth in it. I said, gee, it's only, and I'm gonna tell you how I told him. I said, gee, it's only been 3 motherfucking days. He must out. Like, I'm sorry, Robert. So I miss it, man. I love that dude, man. So
he's
that's
one
a
of
true
a kind, man.
G story. And I told Kenny this, and I was when he passed away, I was crying on the track when we talking to Kenny.
Yep.
And, he had called me the day before and left a message. Hey, Robert. He's like, Cheese, I just want to tell you I love you. He told me he loved me the day before.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I think you let me hear that too.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep. But man, I cried that day, man. I swear.
Wow. That's heavy right there. That's heavy.
But he sounded great. I told Kenny, man, he sounded great, man.
Yeah.
Wow. What did he die from?
He had long-standing issues.
Kidney issues.
Kidney issues.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
I tell you, man. Good dude, man. Every time it wasn't no handshake with G. He would give me a straight up hug, man. Good, so
yeah, I found it. Here go the picture.
Good dude, man.
Let me see if I can pull this thing up, man. This thing. Hold on, let me get in here. Let me see. This thing, man. This is one of the greatest photos, man.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's a great photo, man. That's a great photo.
Wow.
Yep. That's Manny Machado, too.
See, and I be tripping off the detail, man.
Wow.
I mean, he got the ball.
Right.
But see, here's the kicker. We were at that game, remember?
Yeah, we was at the game, yeah.
And see, hey, Dean, here's the thing.
Wow.
We all sat together. But G was like, man, I'll be back. He was on the go. He went around the whole state, the whole game.
All game.
He was taking pictures of different sections. He'll go up top. I mean, the energy of this dude when he's at a sporting event was unbelievable because he'd go down there. He'd go around it. He'd go to the other side of the field. Then he came back like the 8th inning. You know, he just chilling after that. But man, that was great. That was a great night.
Because he be gone so long, you be done forgot he was with us.
Yeah.
And he come back, and then you look at his post later that night. He got all these amazing shots. Like, God, man, you taking this?
Yeah.
This right here is my favorite picture, man.
Yeah.
I posted this picture at least 5, 6 different times. Just you know what I'm saying? I mean, number one, shit. Mm-hmm. You know, I ain't never had nothing more than a goddamn little roll-up can, one of the ones you throw away after you're done with it.
Yeah.
And you ain't taking these kind of pictures with that.
Nah, not with that.
You know, and Garen come to
ball like that.
And see another thing, Dean, Garen kept that bag with him.
Yeah.
So he got the couple to change the lenses and all that shit, man. Yeah. So he was definitely
serious.
He had a gift. He had a gift, man, for capturing the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he took some pictures of us hooping at one of the little Turner Station reunion basketball games. You know, just the shots that he took at that. You know, just some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Just some good stuff. But G, man, definitely is missed. You know,
I'm glad you brought that up, Kenny. I'm glad we giving him his flowers tonight, man. Yeah, that's good, man.
You know, see, like you know, he's another one that you know, at some point, man, like I say, we gotta really give him his flowers.
Yeah.
You know, and like we had a whole crew of guys, man. We were going to games basically because of Garen.
Yeah.
We would go to an Oriole game every summer, and he was the one making sure it happened. You know, every year. He was like, you know, I picked out this game, and this game. Which one y'all want to go to? You know, he would go get the tickets. You know, he made sure that he would make it happen. He would make it happen every year, man. And you know, I mean, we all get busy, man. Life, you know, saying sometimes it's just tough to keep up and do things sometimes. And in spite of all of that, you know, Garen was like, "No, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna do it."
Yeah.
You know, so he definitely missed, man. And you know, somebody who you know, I'm glad I got a chance to tell him that I loved him.
Hell yeah, man.
Because he would Gardner would call you randomly.
Yep.
He'd just call you out the blue. You good? And he checking on you.
Yep.
He the one that, I should be calling, checking on you. He calling to make sure I'm good. How your kids doing?
Mm-hmm.
I know I seen him at Walmart one time. During this pandemic, when everything was kind of shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out at the Walmart. And he coming down the aisle, I'm coming up, and we run into each other. So, we blocking the aisle up for a good hour. We just sitting there talking, just talking, man. Just, ain't really care that we was in people's way.
Mm-hmm.
Saying we just talking, man, and just kind of enjoying the moment. And like you say, I knew he was dealing with some stuff. Never really knew how serious it was. Because I never felt it was my place to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure he was good. Just how you feeling?
Yeah.
And he'll tell you I'm good today, or I've been a little tired, whatever. He'll keep it real with you. But we talked that day, man. We sat, man, we talked, like I say, about an hour, and probably an hour and some change. Right in one of the little hours with all the canned goods and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chopped it up, man. Talked about a little bit of everything. Talk about the Ravens, Lamar. Lamar was this guy. I think, if I ain't mistaken, he was in the Lamar jersey when they laid him to rest.
Wow.
Yep.
He was something special, man. And like I said, the day before, he called just to see how I was doing. Like, cause even before that, 4 or 5 years early, he would check on me because I was going through a bit of depression, especially after my mother passed away. So he, would call. I'm like, this dude checking on me, man. And the thing is, I'm a firm believer. I don't know whether you believe, whatever higher power you believe in. I'm one of those believers who think that certain people are put into your life for a reason.
For sure.
I've always thought that. And I think that, he was definitely put into our life for a reason, to teach us some lessons. So,
yeah.
And humility and other things like that. And he's a great dude, man. Great dude, man.
Yeah. But ever since I met him as a teenager.
Yeah.
When they moved to Turners.
Yes.
And just good dude, man. Just all the way around, man. He just was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was always the same, always like laughing and joking, and and as we got older, you don't laugh and joke as much. But we always kind of stayed on that same plane. We knew what it was when we was around each other. He know I get down, I'm happy go lucky. I just like to enjoy. And I deal with who I deal with. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the ones that got a piece. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the ones that I, glad that I held on to over the years. Just, like I say, when I run into him, because it for a point, it was years where I didn't even see Gary. And there was those early 20 years, and as we moving around in life doing things, and he going one way, I went the other. But you lose touch. But when you get back, it's almost like you never missed a day.
Like riding a bike. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, good. Always good talking about G. And for sure, man, like that was just one of his gifts. Just with that camera, he was a beast with that camera, man. And he was able to capture some things. And he, had a definite love for sports. He's a big Ravens fan, Orioles fan for sure. He was a Maryland football fan. Love women's basketball. As a matter of fact, I need to find it, but he's going to be honored. There's a holiday tournament. I believe it's a holiday tournament for women, high school girls, if I'm not mistaken. And because he would go shoot, do the photos for these girls events. They named one of the divisions the Garen Everett division for this tournament coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's huge. You know, they just went and named the division after him.
Yeah.
So there'll be a Garen Everett trophy. You know, whoever wins that division will be the winner of the Garen Everett division, man. That's huge, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And just
to
a
think
tribute.
highly.
Yeah, and that's just a tribute to the type of person he was, man. You know, he wasn't a girls' coach. He didn't have a lot to do with the girls' game, but he was just a fan.
Yeah.
A fan of the game, and he promoted the women's game a lot. You know, so to be honored that way was huge, man. I'm gonna get that information and share it with everybody in a future show, just so we're aware, because he's somebody that, you know, I feel like we gotta honor Garen.
We will.
Just because he was one of the guys, you know.
We will.
Guys,
We will.
And I can promise you, had he still been with us, he'd have been part of the sports mix in some kind of way. For sure.
That's a good thing about it though, man. Even, you know, talking about him now, living, like I said, I mean, I love you guys, man. So it's no question, you know, you kind of, you know, at a point, we get to that certain point in life where you look at it realistically, we're on the other side, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of life. So at this point, I'm about, you know, giving guys their flowers, and, you know, we got to stop all that. And that's how Garen was. We ain't no hating, doing all that mess, man. It's too much negative energy to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you guys some of the smartest brothers I know, man. So when we on here and we talking, I learn something every time. And I think G, same way, man. You know, so that's how it's gotta be, man.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, just today just wasn't a good day for me. You know, just you know, work wise, just everything, man. This wasn't a good day. My energy was off, you know, during the day. And I was kind of wavering, you know, whether I was going to even do it tonight or not. And before I left off of practice, that's when I made the decision. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and just do it. And that's when I went on ahead and, you know, let y'all know that I'll be on tonight. But this was good. You know, it was always good to get on with the fellas, man. We talked a little bit about, you know, we covered some stuff tonight.
Good show. Good show.
Yeah.
Covered some stuff tonight. You know, nothing real specific. I didn't have nothing really lined up to talk about. Just to say we just get on here and talk, man. Just have some fun, chop it up a little bit.
Yeah, but you know, there's always a healing aspect to you know, shows like this, and in particular this show. I mean, there's a healing thing that goes on, a bonding thing that takes place as we talk through these issues and everything. And you notice how issues, we talk in sports, but it's far reaching. Yeah. We're reaching to and touching into a whole lot of things, man. And that healing thing, man. The day might not have been that great. You know, I was a little frustrated coming on because I got to deal with so much even just to get on, you know, and I wanted to be smooth and have my mind right. But once you do get on and that energy is flowing and it's bouncing back and forth off of each other, man, it's a healing thing that's taking place, man.
Absolutely, man. That's
sure.
great.
For sure.
I'm glad you came on, Dane. Really,
yeah, I'm
man.
glad I did
It's
too.
great, man. I appreciate that.
I started to just, you know, I'm gonna just hold off. And so, you know, I know you said Friday you might not be able to get on. You know, I'm still in the air about Friday. I still may go Friday.
Okay.
You know, just to see how things play out.
Send me the invite anyway, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but between today and Friday, you know, just see how things flow for me.
If I'm able, I will come on. Yeah, absolutely.
So I know. Well, I know I don't have practice this Friday, so I'll be home. I do have practice Saturday morning, which that's not a factor, but the basketball is starting to crank up a little bit. We into our second week, practicing. We got our first scrimmage coming up next Monday. So, just kind of getting geared up. The season is getting ready to crank up in 2 weeks. Our first official game is the 10th, December 10th, man. And I'm excited about that. Getting my first ride around the high school basketball coaching carousel. So so interested, man. So I'm in a different role. Like Dan, you've been in the gym with me, man. So you know how I am, man.
I know. I know.
So man, so I'm playing a different role this go around. I mean, I'm still Coach Kenny. I'm still gonna do what I do, but it's I'm learning. I'm learning the just how we operate. Still trying to learn the kids. Really trying to put my stamp on it. Trying to figure out the best way to do that. It's basketball, it's coaching, man. So it's not no rocket science or nothing. It's just the environment. It's just a different environment. This may be the first time I know that there are people watching. You know what I'm saying? That there are people to answer to. So I gotta be a little careful with some of my some of the things I say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I be practicing my Bobby Knight chair throw like a muck. Don't let me get on that court.
Kenny ain't got to practice.
Oh man. I be
ain't
chewing the
gotta
towel
practice.
like Tarkanian.
I ain't never threw no chairs, but I
Ain't threw no chairs.
I have something to say anything.
So tell me this: Are you got a certain sweater like Connor Secker that you're gonna wear?
There will be no sweaters.
The towel, man. The towel over the shoulder.
I'm gonna have a towel. I got to bring the towel.
Oh, I like John, Big John.
Big John.
Big John.
But see, we got a little gear. I just got my little box today.
Yeah.
From Coach, with our polo shirts, and we got some little jackets we wear.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna be done out, a little swagged out. We got some gear.
Coach Kenny been said some things to the ref that he might have said 4 or 5 years in the past.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the dude reffing the game.
Right.
And he ain't forgot what Coach Kenny said to him 4 or 5 years ago, and he holding it against our team.
Yep. That's a good point.
Yeah. So Coach Kenny gonna have to, be in control of himself on that sideline up there with Dundee.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the head coach do all that. I might be the one holding him back.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if G was still here? He'd been taking pictures and you fussing on the sideline. He kept doing a still photo, like putting up a middle finger or something.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that'd be great.
But congratulations on that though, Kenny, man. I think that's a real good time for you to be there, and it's a growth. It's all the years of coaching, and we started. You dealing with them little boys, and we dealt with the 15-year-olds, and had that great team that we coached, and now you're up with the high school boys, man. This is big. This is good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the next step. It's something I wanted to do a while ago, just never had the time.
Absolutely.
I never could fit it into my schedule, just because of the time commitment.
Yeah.
But, I'm in a position now where I made it work.
At your alma mater, man. That's good stuff.
And that's something I never thought would happen either.
Yeah.
To be back there, school where I graduated from, that that's for all intents and purposes, man, it wasn't a good situation for a lot of us that went to Dundee. For various reasons. You know what I'm saying? The experience, the Dundee experience wasn't the greatest. I'll just say that. It wasn't the greatest experience.
Well, just watch it in case some of the ops watching.
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know until you're in a position to really learn.
Right.
And understand, like, okay, it's going a different way at different places. Like, when you're in a situation, you feel like it's like that everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to be clear, I'm not saying that it was the worst. Because I'm sure with worse situations, it just wasn't. I don't feel like we got the best out of that situation.
Well, to be better, man.
Yeah, and so, but it's a growth period. The area is different, so it's not the same. It's not the same Dundalk that we went to. People my age. It's a whole different thing out there now. The community is different. There's a lot more diverse than it was when we were in the 80s. It's a whole lot more diverse. There's a large Latino population. There's a lot of Africans. At one time, all the black people came from Turner Station.
Right.
That's definitely not the case no more.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm saying, so it's definitely different. And so, I had to learn, really that my experience is not these kids' experience. You know what I'm saying? That they don't have the same experience. So their allegiance to, Turner Station, for say, is not the same as ours was, because that's all we had. You know what I'm saying? We had Turner Station, and that's where our foundation was. A lot of these kids, some of them that may live in Turners are not from Turners. You know what I'm saying? They moved to Turners at some point. Not like we were all born there, And so, but yeah, I'm excited, man. It's a good experience so far. You watching these kids, man, and I put it out there today, because like now it's time to, coach was like, we gotta crank it up. We need this, we need practices to be more intense. We need y'all to be really pushing. And it just took me back to, fellas, the game should be the easy part. These practices is the way we should be grinding, really getting after each other and pushing each other to be better. Because once we get against these other teams, nobody gonna take it easy on us, because we can't break a press or we can't make free throws. Hey, thank you. The other team's looking for that. So it's up to us. Number one, coaches, we got to set the tone for how practices should be. And then the players got to also feed in and set that tone as well. And they got to be the ones that's kind of really making it happen. They got to push. They got to be the ones pushing that envelope and pushing each other, and no plays off, no half-assing doing drills and all that. Like, we got to really be after it, and that we're not a team that's going to overwhelm nobody with height. We might got one kid maybe over 6'5". You know what I'm saying? So we height challenged for sure. We're not the fastest group. So we got some challenges. We got some things that we gotta get around. But man, that's what this part of the year is for. Is that work, the work ethic and the build, to build the team and to really figure out who we're going to be. Come January and February.
Yeah, tell them watch the Muggsy documentary.
And they may not even know who Muggsy is. He might be.
They need to watch.
They heard of Muggsy.
Muggs said that today, though. He said that today, man. He said, a lot of kids think they don't even know I was in the NBA. They think I'm the guy from Space Jam.
No, but they heard that name Muggsy before. Trust me. They might not know. They heard the name Muggsy.
Yeah, that'd be worth for them to watch it.
Yeah, so
recommend.
That's another thing. Like I say, like you've been around me, man. As far as dealing with them kids, and me and you talk a lot, Cheese. You kind of know how I am, philosophy wise. I just want the best. I just wanted to get the best out of it, to work their hardest, and to do their best in every situation. You know what I'm saying? Do your best, man, because I think back to that last group, when me and Dean worked together. Just even the way that whole thing came together. You know what I'm saying? People on the outside don't understand. We threw that shit together in a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We threw that shit together in a week, man. Like, I'm sniffing around. You know, I had a couple kids in the gym just playing, you know, just messing around.
Right.
Wasn't really doing nothing serious. We just kind of sniffing around. I was up there watching your boys play, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Over there at Carver. And big Anthony was like, man, listen, they got a spot down there at Stricker. If you want it, I can get you in there.
Yeah.
And without even thinking about it, I said, yeah, do that shit. Yeah, we be there.
Right.
And he called me like the next Thursday or Friday. He said, man, y'all play tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I was like, oh shit.
Shout out to John Griffin watching. What's up? What's up, JG?
Johnny G.
Happy Thanksgiving. Speaking of great guys, he one of the great guys out of TS, man. John Griffin.
John G was on the varsity in '87.
Good dude, man.
Yeah.
I want to ask John.
Give my love to Cuzzo, John. Give my love to Cuzzo, man. Both of y'all.
Yeah. And John, I'll answer this real quick if you're listening. Who gave you the nickname JG? Because I'm thinking I gave you that nickname as a kid, but I know you probably heard it before, but I think I might have been the first one to call you JG when we was. So clarify that, John. We talking some real shit.
Yeah, man. But we threw that thing together in a week.
Yeah.
A week.
You know, 1 week, man. And he called me, like I said, he called me Friday night and said, yeah, y'all play tomorrow at 10. He was there. You know, Dean had about what you had, 5 kids. I had 5.
Like that, man. Brought about 4 or 5 kids. You brought about 4 or 5. We threw them together. Yeah. And the rest is history.
And that was before we had Superman.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was pre-Superman.
Pre-Superman.
What John say, Kenny?
I think it was you.
I'm telling you, I'm almost sure I nicknamed him JG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tip your hat to that one, brother.
I will. You know? Especially since he's such a great dude, man. That's why. Yeah. You talk about dudes, you know, since you was a kid, he's one of them, man. JG.
So Cheese, you know, we're gonna put that documentary together about the Ebonites.
Oh God.
You know.
What am I gonna say in my speech for when we get Academy Award? Let's dissect this before you get off. I know you're about to go, but I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear. I'm that serious. Yeah. Look, even he says I was the Eddie Murray of all due respect. I was a Babe Ruth. So I gotta figure out what to wear if I want to wear a black tux because we're gonna be on the red carpet.
Yeah.
This documentary is on.
Yeah.
See them combinations I was talking about earlier? Here they come.
Right, here they come. Usually at the end.
Hey, right, my man Roddy said pump the brakes.
That's
what I mean,
timing his timing is impeccable.
God. Yeah, I gotta think. Hold up, should I say I like to thank the people up the top? You know how they always do that. Look, they go first and foremost. I want to thank God. Well, nothing would be possible.
Yeah, you gotta go there.
I got that part already.
Got to give God his props.
But I tell you what, speaking of what Rodney say, pump the brakes. It's nothing like having fun. Like I told you, fellas, fellas from your neighborhood have a way of putting you back into a place where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because you can go out and do that shit all over the country or wherever you're doing. But your home fellas will say, hold on, man. You just teased us, so just relax. So I really love that, man. That's great.
Good stuff.
So after we come off the tour from the Academy documentary on the Ebonites Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be a documentary done on the East West All Stars.
Yeah.
How that thing came together.
He said, don't forget Dean and the Moon Man connection.
Who said that?
JG.
John
Griffin. Yeah.
We can't forget that.
Oh my God.
Shake down.
Don't let us break that shit out.
Yeah, don't pull them tapes out now.
Break that shit out.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad to see y'all on. Rodney, man, I appreciate you, JG, man.
Cause I didn't heard the stories, you know. I just ain't never seen the footage.
Can't see the footage.
You know? Yeah,
So wait a minute.
cause see, I done seen this partner in crime, you know. I done seen this partner in crime fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, many nights. You know what I mean? His shit is certified with me. I like, yeah. All that shit they were talking about Beanie is legit.
It
You know,
Right.
now, I ain't never doubt Dean shit. I just never seen it.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
you know, there is some unaccounted time for it. You know where I'm going with this shit.
I know, man.
You know some time unaccounted for. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I was trying to push y'all off me, man. Y'all still got me out.
Yeah,
JG said, I see the footage. Yes,
yeah, we hung out together. We all three of us has hung out. You know, I'm with the two legends. You know, me, Dean, and Beanie and shit. Went over DC, and you know, I know what Beanie can do. I done seen this man do his thing. You know, he legendary. I know this.
So wait a minute.
But I got the other legend with me.
Well, so hold on, Dave. Don't pick me up, put me on game, man. What was that?
Well, I'm still trying to find out what went down because you know we at a club, so we party, we enjoy, you know, we having fun, you know. So I'm doing what I do. So man, about, I don't know, an hour or so go past. You know, Beanie come up, man. Hey, you seen Killer? And I looked around. I said, damn, nah, I don't know where you go.
Right.
Hey man, you know, so I go back to party, and you know, we having a good time. Then I don't know how much more time went past, and I turn around and goddamn Dean over there behind me. You know, looked like he'd have been somewhere sweating. Hold up.
Hey, hold on. Before Rodney said, "Let sleeping dogs lie," man.
Hey,
Thank you, Rod.
now I don't know where he went.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went.
Hold up. Was he sweating profusely?
Looked like he'd been getting it in. Looked like he did it. He probably put a show on somewhere, and we missed it.
Couple more buttons unbuttoned. You know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I said, damn, I didn't miss it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and
good old days.
And in good old Dean fashion, you know, he ain't say a motherfucking word about what happened. He just went on about like nothing happened. You know, even the whole ride home, he ain't say shit.
Oh man. You don't know how fucking gangster that is, man.
Hey,
That's fucking gangster.
You know, at some point, we might have to bring Beanie up on this motherfucker. And tell some of these goddamn stories.
Yeah.
And I didn't heard them. I didn't heard them.
Yeah, we might have to do that.
Now wait a minute, is the statute of limitations for these stories? I mean, so we gonna have to deal with that.
I don't think none of these will get them in trouble.
This might be that BMF thing where some of this shit might really happen.
Hey,
you know when they had a BMF thing.
Hey, Dean. Did your son ask you, did that stuff really happen?
Yes, he did, man. We come up out of practice one day, and Beanie came to the practice, and Beanie was running down some of them stories about what we went through. And as I was driving home from that practice, someone was like, Dad, was that stuff really true, what he was saying?
Hey, JG said, what about Carl Russell?
Oh yeah.
Oh, legend. Another legend.
Man. Woo!
The
Boy,
third
you
wheel.
brought up a name there.
Yeah.
The goddamn third wheel, the three the hard way.
Legendary Carl Russell.
Legendary.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's great, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
But see, you know, and that's the thing, man. You know, when you grow up like that and you got them guys that you look up to, you know what I'm saying? I would hear the shit about, you know what I mean? I remember sitting in the barbershop when Hartwell getting everybody ready to go out. and I remember Beanie was like, Ken, you too young. You can't go over to these clubs with us. I'm like, man, come on, Beanie. I look like I'm 25.
God damn.
But when I turned 21,
it was all the cracking.
Beanie called me. I didn't even have to call him. Hey, you ready? So goddamn right, I'm ready. you know. But yeah, man, I mean, that's just what it was, you know, good dude, man. He just showed me the rope, showed me a different kind of, you know, different way, showed me a different way, man. And you know, always been nothing but respect, you know, from the gate. And like I said, I didn't even really know Dean at that time. Back then, I knew who he was, but I didn't know him, you know. And so, like I said, we basically got to be friends from the football?
Flag football.
Football, you know, we ended up our boys on the flag football team together. We see each other in the barbershop. You know, might talk a little bit now, but it was really the football.
It was that football.
And football really would kind of tighten us up. You know. And like I say, we've been doing sports shows for the last 20 years. It's been about 20 years ago, ain't it?
It's been, yeah.
All them boys grown up now.
They're all grown up. They men now.
Yeah, because shit, Kenny 26.
Right.
That was what, 24. That was what, a 5'7"?
Right. That was 5'7".
Yeah, so he had to been, he probably was turning 7.
Yeah, close to 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Time flies.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it don't seem like it been that long, but
right.
You know, like you say, man, all them boys and grown up, doing their thing now, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to see. But yeah, even with that, just talking about that East West All Stars team for, you know, as we wrapping up, you know, your boys was part of that. You know, my nephew.
Yeah.
That's really how it came together. You know, that's really how it all came together. You know, I was up James McHenry, and I used to be in there.
I was over at Rosedale.
Yeah, I used to be in there with them kids during the week. Man, it's about, they had 30, 40 kids in the gym at the school every day. And they had the little house league and stuff. So I would help out with that. And I had Karan over there playing. And he wasn't really a ball player like that. He would be over there. And I would talk to the guy. And I said, man, we need to do something, you know, get these kids out of this gym. You know, start really taking them to play some ball. And he said, well, if you want to do it, I'll talk to the director and we'll make it happen. So they set me aside some gym time on a Friday. And I handpicked about 6, 7 of them kids. You know, Chauncey, Dante, David. They was the definite them 3 for sure. There? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, okay. Mark was in that first group. Big Rob.
Okay.
Big Rob was in that first group. So, you know, them 5 was the 5 that stuck. Because it was some more of them, but those are the 5 that came every week. Those are the ones that end up sticking. And then you know, Darian, my nephew. And then, you know, we got your guys, you know, Karan, Romel was too old. Karan, and then you had Uzo.
Uzo came on board, yeah. Remember the guy Terry was playing with us early.
Yeah, he played a couple games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played a couple games. Maurice's son, Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron.
Then the other Cameron.
Other Cameron came, yeah. And then the other Cameron, we had like 3 Camerons.
Was it 3 Camerons? Yeah, that's right. Tall Cameron, yeah.
From Alameda. Yeah.
Yeah, but
so the thing about this coaching thing, man, and specifically with Coach Kenny, is that, you know, coaching is coaching. And people can walk into the gym and coach guys and go through practices and all that kind of stuff. But his coaching ain't stopped right there. It wasn't just about being in the gym, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays and playing a game on Saturday or Sunday. It was about running around all across the city, picking up kids, getting them to practice, getting them to games, running around in stores, piecing together uniforms so that they can look decent in the game, you know, talking with their parents. I mean, all kinds of things. I mean, the length and the depth of where he traveled with these kids, and I'm talking about mentally now, it is pretty astounding where the connection has lasted a lifetime. Them kids has never forgotten Coach Kenny and the impact that he's had on their lives. And so when you talking about coaching and Kenny, I done been there. I done seen it. I was shoulder to shoulder with the guy. I know what he did. I saw the impact. I saw him talking to parents who were on drugs, and he's dealing with the kid and helping out the kid and finding tennis shoes for the kid, all kinds of stuff like that. So I know from experience what he's done. So calling him Coach Kenny, yeah, he's Coach Kenny, but that shit is a whole lot deeper than coach, man.
I know that's right.
I know that from experience.
I know that's right.
Straight up.
Way to give him his flowers, Dean. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
You know,
absolutely.
You know, I done dug one up. There they go.
Yeah.
That's the original mob right there.
There they go. There they go. Let me throw my spectacles on for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the original mob right there. Those was the ones, man. They was and these little shorts.
Right. Tell them where you got them from.
And them little blue t-shirts they got up underneath.
Yeah.
Foreman Mills.
Foreman Mills. You know, Foreman Mills going out of business every other week back then.
Yeah.
You know, closeout sale.
Yeah,
Coach Kenny right up in there, man, putting together uniforms.
And I grabbed every pair of the shorts. They look how big them shorts was on them boys, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but they were uniform though.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean the day of the tournament is when I found all that shit.
Yeah.
The day because we was going. All we had was the little white jerseys.
Yes.
They'd have been in all kind of color shorts.
All color shorts.
You know what I'm saying? They'd have been in all kind of shorts.
You won't believe how happy the boys were when them blue shorts and them blue t-shirts came. Man.
It was much bigger. It was much bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
It ended up being a much bigger thing than I thought. Yeah. I gotta share one more.
Propelled them to the championship.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see this day, man, people just don't understand, you know, what this shit meant for this group of kids, for them to win that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from where they came from.
Who was reffing that game? Ken, who was up there reffing?
Who reffed that game? Was it Jerry? Was it Neville? I think it was Jerry Neville.
What was Donald Clark doing some reffing then, or he just opened the gym up?
Clark was there, but I don't think he was reffing that game.
My man Donald Clark.
I know he was there.
Yeah, Clark was there.
Yeah,
we was playing against the Turner Station team.
Yeah,
for the championship.
Yeah. Yep.
It was major.
Yeah. Yep. That definitely put it, made it a little sweeter. You know, we got to play against the home team, and like I say, none of them kids is from Turner, so that shit didn't mean nothing to them.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't even about beating the Turner's team. It was just the fact that we made it. We made it to the championship. You know, and I think, I mean, I'm telling you, that weekend, we didn't lose a game that whole weekend because we played a couple games even outside of the tournament. And whatever they had going on that weekend, I wish we could have bottled that shit up forever. You know what I'm saying? That was probably one of the greatest weekends of basketball with any group of kids I've ever been around.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
You know?
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you know, don't let Coach Dean fool you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was as big a part, you know, than I was. Because Dean made sure motherfuckers was in and out of the game. I was so focused on the game, I would have never subbed nobody out. I would have never had a sub. We'd have just played we'd have been up there tired as hell.
Right.
Dean made sure motherfuckers was fresh, you know, get them in and out. You know, knew who to put in at what. You know, what situations, all that, man. So it just worked out. You know what I'm saying? It worked out.
We were a hell of a combination.
Yeah, it worked out real well.
Coaching them boys,
and then,
man.
and it was the yin and yang too. You know, Dean could be
Yeah.
the good cop. You know, I'm gonna be the one, you
Yeah.
know, grabbing you by the goddamn neck. Shut the fuck up.
Right. Exactly. I might come back, straighten the shirt out a little bit, and say something else in his ear.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was just a you know, from a standpoint, like you say, you dealing with kids. And I always see, even when I went back to school, that group of kids I always talked about as being instrumental in me changing the way I looked at coaching. You know, because before it was just basketball. I just wanted to coach basketball. I didn't really dig too much into who I was coaching and what they had going on outside of basketball. Just like, why you wasn't at practice? You know what I'm saying? And there was some real life shit dealing with that group of kids, man. Just like you say, some of the parents, some of the stuff they was going through. You know, even the parents even include me on some of the struggles that they had and some of the things that they was dealing with. And just being a you know, person that they trusted with their kids. You know, because it, like I say, it was times, man, we with them kids all day. You know, gotta feed them.
Yeah.
And I ain't rich by no stretch of the imagination. So, you know, sometimes I was spending money I ain't have.
Yeah, we were struggling, man. It wasn't easy
to make it happen. But you do it, you know, out of love, man. And like I say, them kids brought something out of me that I really didn't know I had in myself. And you know, the core of them I'm still connected to today. You know what I mean? The core of that group, you know, still speak with David, his parents, Chauncey, of course. You know, Darian, my nephew, Terry, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and I see some of the other parents around, you know, so it's always, you know, we never forget.
Oh yeah.
We never forget that, man. It was just a great time.
It was great times, man. Really great times, man. Really great times.
But I'm
and
working
during
on
the whole time, we definitely connected. That was the connection when me and Kenny got together, and you know, that bond has been there ever since. So
yeah.
That's great, man. That's great.
Yeah. So I'm working on getting Superman on the show.
Right.
You know, he's busy. He's a little busy right now. You know, over there at Towson, they out in Vegas for a tournament.
Okay.
I think they got a game tomorrow. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it online somewhere. And that's a story all in itself. You know, that kid there. You know, I know. Geez, you heard me talk about Terry Nolan before, man. Just to see where he's at now, unbelievable, man. Just to watch his growth, man. To watch how he kind of fell into the game. You know, he fell into the game of basketball because he was a football player at first. I didn't even know that. You know, he was a football kid at first and was pretty good at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's pretty good at that, man. And he just fell in love with that basketball. You know, and he fell in love with that basketball. We kind of put him on the right path. You know, to get to the places that he got.
He probably played some professional ball. It looks like to me.
Oh, for sure. For
sure.
He'll
play some professional ball.
Yeah, for sure be a pro somewhere. You know. And but just to be there at the beginning, to because like I said it earlier, you know, when you got a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, I don't care how talented they are, there's no way you can tell where they're going to end up or what trajectory they're going to go on because life is happening. You know, so many things can happen between 10 years old and 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? And Terry just and I've always told him this, man, you can play with anybody. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care who they saying is the top player. And you can play with them.
Absolutely.
Trust that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. And he's shown everywhere that he's been that he belongs. You know, I've never seen him look out of place on no court. You know what I'm saying? No court. So, man, we wrap it on up, fellas. Got a rough start, you know, just little technical issues and everything, but of course we got through it as we do. We may be back Friday. we may come back Friday for another edition. I don't know, depending on how much turkey we all eating.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, then Friday is Black Friday, you know.
Right.
I don't know, y'all brothers might be out there looking for big screen TVs or some shit.
Nah, I don't do that.
They still do that stuff, busting through the doors and all that crap, man.
Yeah, they can have at it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be right in here with my feet up.
I ain't never been a fan of that madness.
Nah,
Nah.
I ain't never dealt with none of that.
You don't see it at Barnes and Nobles though.
No. Oh shit, here we go. Here it comes.
they ain't busting them doors down, huh?
Hey, Dane, I'm sorry, man.
Them combinations, man.
I try to get out the game, but
Ronnie
push
say
me
don't threaten
back.
them with a good time. What you trying to go? You going Black Friday shopping, Ronnie? What you talking about?
I don't know, but I gotta use a bathroom.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey, that's TMI.
Yeah, man. Look, I didn't want to just ghost the show, but
Right.
Yeah, fellas,
yeah,
man. It's been
I'm gonna
real
put that
as
in the
usual.
chat.
Yeah, it's been real, man. Enjoy that Thanksgiving, man. Be thankful for so many different things, man. I'm thankful for this show. Thankful, that I'm rubbing shoulders with brothers like y'all, and we talking about some good stuff, man. It's a lot to be thankful for.
For sure,
Appreciate it,
for sure, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. Definitely thankful for the sports mix.
Yeah.
And just the opportunity to chop it up with the brothers.
Yeah.
You know, we got more in store. If you're watching in the chat, you know, the link to the YouTube page is in the chat. It's been there. You know, I put it in there a little earlier. I will have the link up tomorrow, probably on Facebook for the YouTube for this episode. You know, hit me up, man, for some show ideas. Y'all want something, you know, specific things y'all want to talk about. If you might want to come on the round table, hit me up. You know, I'm open. You know, we'll talk about it. Get you on here, man. So thanks y'all again. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. I had a good time, good show.
Yes,
Brothers,
indeed.
appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy y'all Thanksgiving. Join your families, man. Have a good day. And we may be back Friday.
Yes, sir.
So peace.
Peace.
All in the Middle East.
All right, bro.
All right, y'all. Be good.
All right.
Peace out.